Rocken Larry Locken with Pleiadian Express Productions coming to you from the west coast of the United States in a not-so-undisclosed location. Right now, at this never-beginning nor ending now moment, I have with me returning guest and a co-admin of mine in several Facebook groups, Ciara Morris, from all the way at the other end of the country on the east coast of West Virginia. Ciara Morris, how are you, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
No, I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. I'm just still thinking about all those cool crystals that you showed me in the pre-show and that we were talking about, but we can get into that another time. I look forward to hearing a detailed description or seeing it on video one day. But, you know, we've been trying to hook up for a while now and get you back on the show, and we've had some communication issues and whatnot. But, you know, first, before we get into some of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about at this never-ending now moment, I wanted to say day or night, but it really doesn't matter, is some of the groups that we're both involved in on Facebook and some of the achievements that they're nearing or that they have accomplished, and some of the groups as well that you admin. You know, first of all, I'd like to give a really big shout out to Leah Alien Tribe Shapiro, the group leader of the mothership, the Pleiadians group, which is, I think we're nearing 30,000. I think we're only 40 or 50 people short of 30,000, and that's really going to be a nice accomplishment, and I'm really happy for that group, and I'm happy for Leah, and I'm happy for all the admins in the group as well, you know, just to name a few. Yourself, myself, Jason Wilson, of course, Kathleen Boylan, Jane Hermstad, Tyler Biedebach, Judith Zavala, got to give much love to Judith, can't forget about that, as well as other admins now. We've gotten so big that, you know, we've got about 15 admins in the group, and I just wanted to send a special shout out to her and wish her much love, because she's been a real big inspiration to me. And I know that also we have the Twin Flame group and the Pleiadians Reiki group that you admin as well. And why don't you talk a little bit about the numbers in those groups? Can you believe how fast these groups have grown? Who's nervous here? Before the show, I'm all telling Ciara, don't be nervous. It's okay. It's fine. You know, calm down. And here I am, just really, really nervous. It's been a while since I've done an interview, actually. I've done a couple editorial pieces, but anyway, I'm going to quit rambling. And Ciara, what do you think about all these groups on Facebook? What is your take, especially the ones you admin?
They've gotten amazing. I'm currently trying to figure out how to do a 30,000 member graph for Leah's group. For Pleiadian Reiki, I'm doing a graphic for the 5-5-5-5, the 4 5s.
Yes, I remember, yes.
There's just so much to talk about. I don't know what to talk about.
There really, really is, and it's funny, we talk about synchronicity, though, a lot, and you had mentioned, you know, that you were working on the 30,000 person banner for Leah's group, and I had meant to message you the other day. I was going to say, hey, look, we're getting close to 30,000. You want to do a banner? But I didn't want to jinx it and talk about it too quick before it happened. And then just now I was thinking that as I was going through that spill, I was thinking about, you know, the fact that I know that you are going to do, or at least you've got one in mind, a really, really cool banner, because 30,000 to me, when I became one of Leah's admins about a year ago at this time, there was only about, you know, a little less than 7,000 people in the group, and I had this thought of it hitting 30,000 for some reason before the end of this year here, and I'm really excited to see that it's come to fruition. And of course the story with the Reiki and the Twin Flame group, how that came about just as a thought, and mentioning it in our private admin, you know, private chat that we have amongst ourselves, and everybody thought it would be a good idea. And I just think it's really exciting. And I know that you yourself have also got a Pleiadian group called the Spiral Healers. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, and, you know, some of the admins in that group and what your mission is in that group and how that's coming along?
Well, the Spiral Healers, I can't talk. Pleiadian Spiral Healers group is basically a sister tribe group group to Pleiadian Reiki, so it's like an extension to it. When I came up with the idea, before I became an admin to Pleiadian Reiki, I came up with the idea of Pleiadian Spiral Healers. Did it with Christina. I've got 4 admins, which one is you. You're the 4th in command, as I call it. Susan Milady Starlight Nelson, she's 3rd in command, and Christina is 2nd. And since I'm 1st in, since I created it, I put me in 1st in command of it. But the group is basically about where all healers, all the techniques that they can come up.
Yeah, that was mighty nice of you to put me 4th in command. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's great. I didn't know that it was a sister group to the group I created, the Reiki group. I guess that's what happens when you lose touch a little bit like I have. I feel like the corporate Pleiadian guy. I did not even know that you had made that decision. That's cool, but that's good that it's a sister group to the Reiki group. I think that that's perfect, and we need to do a better job of advertising that in the Reiki group, and we can do that. And you know, we were talking the other night about all the groups that you admin, and the Pleiadian groups are just some of the groups that you admin. What are some of the other groups that you help out with or admin of, you know, various starseed natures?
There's Divine Aletheia, Homo the Archangel, Michael the Archangel. They, I can never say that whole name. Sorry.
It's okay. Breathe.
There's Galactic Federation that I admin. I recently rejoined it because of something happened a few weeks ago that I didn't like, so I left, and a couple of weeks ago I rejoined again. There's also Divine Encounter, another one of their groups as well, along with Galactic News Network. I have my own groups, which is Pleiadian Spiral Healers, and so many groups.
Are you having a little bit of a starseed moment, blanking out? No, I'm just kidding. I think it's a great job that you do in all these groups adminning, and I really appreciate the ones that you help out with for me and for the Pleiadian Nation. And you know, I thank you so much for also helping with the Fringe Thinkers. That's great. And you know, I just really appreciate all that you've done. And there is so much to talk about. What do you think? What do you think is so important about having all these groups? I mean, and I always encourage people to create their own groups, because we want to get out of this greed mentality that some people do have, like it's my group versus your group, when really at the end of the day we're all one group. But don't you think it's really, I think it's really empowering and interesting to see, and I really enjoy seeing people create their own groups, just taking the couple minutes, and it's really not that hard to do it. It takes a downloaded picture, a group description, and a name, and good God, girl, you're ready to go. I mean, what do you think about seeing all these groups and how far it's came just in the last year?
The last year, admin of Pleiadians, I didn't think it would get to this point of being 30K.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's speechless if you think about it.
Yeah, no, it really is, you know, and it's exciting to see, and not that we want to give everybody the impression out there that we're hung up on numbers or anything, well, because we're not. Well, maybe I am a little bit, but, you know, I've still got maybe 10% Earth human ego left in me, but it's just exciting to see other people doing their own groups and those groups growing, and, you know, that's why I wanted, you know, why I started doing this was to, I just want to make other people shine, you know what I mean, because I know the energy that comes from them will help me out, And I just, I'm not in it for the glory or the fame or anything like that. I just like to empower people and see them become the leader that they are. We're all leaders. We're all our own leaders. We all can learn from each other. And I think at the end of the day, that's really the lesson here with creating all these groups and coming back to oneness. And, speaking of all that, I know that I was going to remind everybody out there that, for those who don't know, I started talking to Ciara about it. We were talking about this in the pre-show, and she's like, oh my God, has it been a year already? And yet it does seem like it's been forever, but either we're a year and 2 weeks in or a couple of weeks short of a year that I've been talking to her. And I met her one night in the groups, and she had just some random question for me, and I can't remember what it was, but we started talking a little bit, and it wasn't long after that she started experiencing these hellacious ascension symptoms. And for everybody out there listening, I've probably talked at least a little bit to maybe 20,000 different people and heard from 10,000 different people regarding ascension symptoms. And with the exception of one other person, Ciara's were the most extreme that I had ever heard of in my life. They were just really, same thing we're all going through, but so intense that it was mind-numbing to even hear it. And I could just feel what she was telling me and feel how hardcore it was. And this girl was only 19 when she started going through them. This wasn't like somebody who's a little bit older who's had a lot of 3D life experience. She's going through this stuff at 19, on the verge of 20. And talk a little bit about how it's been for you the last year. The sounds, the noises, the staying up all night, the body pain, and then what has kind of helped you. You were mentioning something before the show, what's kind of helped you ease through this transition and come out on the other side, so to speak. And I think it's important for people to hear this because there's a lot of people out there going through these symptoms right now, more and more.
Sorry, my throat. With they started out, like I said, 7 months ago in our first interview. I've had these when I was little, like 6 years old, so it's been quite a ride of a lifetime.
Breathe in the air. No, it has been, but okay, we could go on it point by point. So when they first were kicking in, and I was telling you about the things that I had been going through with the sounds late at night, the vibrations, and how I would try to tune them out. And I remember trying to recommend meditations to you that other people would like, and you're just like, it just didn't work for me or vibe with me. And I think you got to the point where you were saying you had to turn on hard rock even at night to tune out the vibrating and the humming, right?
Yeah, I still listen to like a storm. Like a storm. Other groups. Oh my gosh, I still do that. But here lately, with hypnosis, thanks to Galaxy Hypnosis and the one who helped me out with it, the technique, I can tune the sound.
You're cutting out right there. You cut out. All I heard was Galaxy Hypnosis. Explain a little bit about this Galaxy Hypnosis and what it's done, and can you tell us where they're located? What city?
They are located in Bowie, Maryland. They have a Facebook page. Just look up Galaxy Hypnosis. They do all kinds of things. If you had a past trauma, for instance, last year there was a fire at my old apartment. We've held on to those for months. Then Tammy Stevens, one of my mom's friends, became certified with Galaxy Hypnosis, National Guild, and Omni Training Facility to become certified. They help with nail biting, help with smoking. They help with everything that you can imagine. And just there's a technique that I can even go to my apartment that I made up. I have a coma, I have an ultra height. These are where your guides are. Your coma level is your safe place. You deeper in when you're in trance. When someone puts you in trance from galaxy hypnosis, you can go deep in to talk to your body. Let's see. What else is there?
Hold on, you say talk to your body. You mean like you can go deep into these trances and talk to your body and like talk to them about what the trauma that maybe you went through in the fire or what it remembers, things like that, to help, figure that out?
When you get put into trance, like for instance, I have the trigger to sleep now with a snap of the finger in front. I'll get to that part real quick. For a couple of months, my wrist has been hurting. Recently, the bone inside, underneath the skin, has popped up, and hard to bend back or bend forward unless I put pressure on it. So, a week ago, I was telling Tammy about it, and when I was telling her about it, she told me, sleep now. I go all the way down to coma level, and we were trying to figure that out. But then she took me deeper in, to where to my body, and asked my body if it was this lifetime. It said no.
Wow. So it is true that the deeper you go, the better you feel. No, continue on.
When you're in trance, you're aware of everything. Did you even know that hypnosis is mentioned in civil?
In what?
Larry? In the Bible.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, you cut out. Did I know that it was mentioned in what, hon?
The Bible.
No, I did not. Why don't you tell me about that? Because no, I know that ETs are, and I argue that point a lot with 3D people, but no, tell us a little bit about that.
Just like crystals, they're mentioned in the Bible. Hypnosis, Greek god of hypnosis. What's his name? Hypno. And one night at church, I was the only one there for teen class. So we went into the adult class. And the pastor, he mentioned a verse saying then so-and-so put someone in trance. I'm like, oh my gosh. It dawned on me when he said that, and then Tammy told me was working and said about working at her normal job about hypnosis being mentioned in the Bible, and then it got me to looking it up. And yes, it is true. It's been mentioned in the Bible several times. There's healing mentioned in the Bible. All kinds of techniques that were hidden in there that you don't listen. If you don't listen and you read carefully, you'll see the little tricks.
Yeah, if you read with an open mind and not some preconceived notion that the Bible was created by a bunch of people with harps in the clouds. Exactly. Everything is talked about in there, and it's just like with the healing techniques of the crystals in Atlantis and Lemuria. And really, you can call it by other words, Sodom, Gomorrah, whatever the Bible talks about. The Bible really is alluding, I think, a lot of the time to Atlantis and Lemuria. So I'm sure even there's a lot more references to the healing techniques that these crystals provide than that maybe you even know or I even know, because I wasn't even aware that the Bible had specifically went into healing techniques of hypnosis. I mean, and I'm sure that I lost my train of thought. Hypnosis was used in Atlantis and Lemuria too, and I think Dolores Cannon, God rest her soul, Prime Creator rest her soul, used that technique for years to regress people and remembering trauma from past lives. So you were told that this had happened to you, that that something was going on with you from a past life, right? And were you able to gather any more information about that, or are you still working on that part of it?
I'm still learning on that.
Yeah, and I think that's all we can do is just continue on with the process. And it's interesting how we're all, whatever step of this path we're on, we've all got to put our own puzzle together. And you get a clue here and there. Like that hypnosis was a big clue for you to key you into something, just like going to the adult session at the church that night and listening to the pastor. That helped, that helped a lot of things click together for you. So it's little things like that that help us click and remember things, and as we go on this journey, and it just triggers something within our Akash, within our innate, and it helps us to figure it out. And I just think it's very interesting, and I'm really wanting to say that I'm really proud of you and the process that you've been through the last year. It's got to be really hard. I know a lot of people that started going through Ascension about the same time you were. It's been a really crazy, wild ride of a year for them, and they've been hit with it all at once, whereas like I'd been going through it for a couple years already, and I kind of had it spaced out for me, so I'm thankful to that. But you guys got hit with it a lot harder. And yeah, that hypnosis. So after the hypnosis, how did your life, okay, once you got done with the hypnosis, you came back from there, and you're still doing your thing and stuff on Facebook. How do you think your life has changed since the hypnosis, though, just from an overall standpoint?
I still do the hypnosis.
But that initial one, I meant like the initial,
the trauma.
Yeah. Have you rectified? Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's helped the trauma then? Has it helped you to understand the trauma a bit?
The trauma's no longer the worst. I no longer talk about the fire.
Well, that's amazing then. So it's not even good. You no longer talk about it. It no longer really plagues your mind. That's good. So what are some of the things that you're working on now, besides just like what we're all doing, moving the groups forward and spreading the message of awakening and enlightenment to people? What are some of the goals that you have, or if you have any, in your immediate future for yourself? Expanding the groups. Is there anything in particular that you're working on right now that you want to share with everybody?
Right now, I'm working on my abilities, but also I'm going forth for GD because I need the education to get a job. So, but for the groups, I want to expand them out a little bit more, get them out there to where more people will know about it.
It's called marketing. Google it, folks. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, exactly. And we can definitely help with that and spread the word. And the Reiki group, the healers group that you created, the Spiral Healers group, that would be, it would be good to post it.
There's another
what? What's it called? Intertwine. Okay, tell us a little bit about that group.
It's energetic healing. Can you hear me?
Roger, loud and clear. Yes, I hear you. Roger, this is the Blue Rider. Yes, come back. Yes, I do hear you. And so energy healing, like when you say energy healing, you mean just techniques energy-wise? I mean, are you into, or are you familiar with long-distance energy healing, just sending loving thoughts out there to people in the atmosphere, in the cosmos. What exactly is it? Just a group based on the awareness of energetic healing?
No, it's about all the crystal healing, Reiki.
Reiki and crystal healing are big ones. They're great. Just any kind in general. Is there any other kind that come to mind that you are into besides Reiki and besides the crystal healing?
Hypnosis.
Hypnosis is a big one. Now, I meant to ask you when we first touched on hypnosis. Do you think that it's important, or you say you're always aware and in control when you're in trance, but do you think it's important to trust the person who's hypnotizing you? I mean, of course, that's kind of a silly question, but do you think that it matters that they know what they're doing? I mean, for instance, could it be somebody that had a good intention but really didn't know what they were doing and they could mess things up? Or, I mean, did it take a specific person for you to feel comfortable with doing it?
In the beginning of June, that's when, because June 18th to the 20th, that's when I was going to Maryland with Tammy Stevens. At the beginning of June, she wanted to get me for Maryland because we were going to spend a week there. Because Larry Lambert.
Yeah. Okay. So that's Tammy Stevens, right? Not Tammy Faye Baker. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. It's a little before your time. But so is that still? Are you still? You said you were still going under hypnosis and still going through that. Are you still doing it through the same organization or in the same therapist, or have you used other people?
I've only gone through Tammy Stevens and Larry Lambert and Sandra Lambert, all three of them, of Galaxy Hypnosis.
Okay. I wonder, are they related to Jack Lambert by chance, the old Pittsburgh Steeler? No, I'm joking. That was something to relax you a little bit. I just thought I'd throw that in there, that little joke. But you're probably like, who in the fuck is Jack Lambert? Okay, it really doesn't matter. But wow, that's exciting. And you said they have their own Facebook page, right, or their own group?
They have their own Facebook page. Just look up Galaxy Hypnosis on Facebook, and you'll see that they are located in a little description when you look them up. They're in Bowie, Maryland. And if there has a trauma or that they need to get rid of, not get rid of, that they need help with, and they can't seem to guess the trauma that has happened to them, give them a call. They will literally take back to the point of the time that it happened. Like me, for instance, the fire, like the fire, like my grandmother, the fire. We all went back to the beginning when it happened, and we did it different experiences. They'll ask you if it's day or night, if you're alone with somebody. They are guiding you through the process. They can also help you with stops, weight loss, nail biting, and much more.
Wow. Okay. So what maybe we'll have to do when I post these shows, if you can go around and maybe you could provide a link to them and give them a little plug, and maybe you can plug their page on the groups. That would be really good, because I think your testimonial is great, and if they were able to help you, believe me, if they could help this girl with her ascension symptoms, man, they could really. It wouldn't hurt to look them up. And you mentioned that they were in Maryland, and it's funny, you've told me the name of the town a couple times, and each time I think the mic is cut out a little bit. It almost sounded like you were saying Ooey, Maryland. I don't think the town's called Ooey, is it? What is it? Is it gooey, ooey, chewy, chewy, or what is it?
Bowie. B.
Buoy. Buoy. Buoy, as in boy.
Yes.
Can you, off the top of your Arcturian Pleiadian mind, can you spell that in 3D?
Bowie.
Oh, that sounds like Bowie, like David Bowie. So boy, Ocean, William, Ida, Edward. That's Bowie, Bowie. Not like no, buoy. Not like David Bowie, but buoy. Okay, like a buoy. Okay, out in the ocean. Okay. Well, that's exciting. And do they? I mean, I would really like for people to have access to their page and to do they deal with a lot of clients that you know of? Do they come to your home? Do you have to go to their center? Can they do it over
They can
the
do it.
internet?
They do it over the internet, like Skype, Google Hangouts, I guess, for Google Hangouts. Not sure on that part. They also do it through in person or at home. For instance, Tammy Stevens, she's branched out to Galaxy Hypnosis of West. Or I better not say yet because it's not ready. Just that she's branched out to where she can help too. um, crap. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I think you cut out anyway. It's okay. We know that it's Tammy Stevens and Larry Lambert and the Galaxy Hypnosis, and it's out of Bowie, Maryland. That's Bowie, not Bowie, but Bowie, Maryland. And they also have a Facebook page called Galaxy Hypnosis, or what is it again?
Galaxy Hypnosis.
Galaxy Hypnosis, just like I said, folks. It's Galaxy Hypnosis. So I would encourage everybody out there to check them out. Give them a call today. Give Tammy and Larry a call. Listen, I sound like a commercial. I want some sponsorship money. Damn it! No, I'm kidding. But that's really great that they've been able to help you do that. And you said they helped your grandmother as well.
Yeah, they help Mother. Well, they all help us, all three of us, with the fire, the trauma of the fire of last year. And my mom also has ringing in her ears now, so I'm also helping her with that.
And that could be a very fortunate thing, as much of a process it may be, because you're, in one way, you're kind of lucky that you have somebody going through the same thing that you've gone through, or you've been through, somebody in the family. Most starseeds don't. But I think lately a lot of us are finding some that do. And how's that gone? Is that a good situation? Has that helped your relationship, having to help her go through that? Made you guys closer or anything like that?
We've always been close. I just know one day the ringing, and I told Tammy if her pendulum, if her or Mark's dad was there in the room with us, she got a yes. And then it got a little bad on me, so she put me into trance. Then after that, my mom started. That's when we found out my mom has the same ability as I do.
Which is, for the listeners out there, what? The intuitiveness, the dreams, the visions, yeah.
The ringing.
The ringing, the ring-a-ding-dong in the ears. Yeah, that's kind of a mother to deal with in the ascension process, that ringing in the ears, or just those sounds. And it really helps to have you there for her. I just feel it, because if you don't understand what's going on, it's one thing, like we're all dealing with this as starseeds. It's one thing when you can kind of understand what the hell's going on, or at least have talked to people that have a take on what's going on, instead of being just told, oh, you've got you're schizophrenic, or you've got bipolar, or you got what's that ringing in the ear disease? You got tinnitus. Have you been checked for tinnitus? You're seeing visions in the sky. Have you been checked for glaucoma or a brain tumor? I mean, it's nice to be able to to talk to people that give an alternate theory besides just some oh gee, I've got a bad cough. Well, did you breathe into a chimney? Is that why you got a bad cough? I mean, it's the same kind of logic in asking that as, oh, have you been checked for schizophrenia, bipolarism? Have you been checked for vision problems? Have you been checked for tinnitus in the ears? Have you been checked have you had your prostate checked? Do you have hemorrhoids? No, I mean, it's just an on and on and on. And it's good to have people around that are understanding and know, and that maybe they don't have the right answers, or maybe what they're going through is not what you're going through, but at least it's good to have an alternative answer or an alternative theory, and especially from somebody who's non-judgmental, right? Who's not, oh, well, just get over it. Oh, it's just, it's all in your head. Well, no shit, it's all in your head. Any problem you ever have is in your head, even if it's a broken foot. I mean, the pain's coming through receptors and nerves, and so it's just really exciting that more people in our families, like our Earth families here, are experiencing this stuff. And I think the time has come where we're, like I've said for so long, that we were going to be called upon to help these people, and in some families it may be people that were naysayers that maybe called you crazy, or, oh, that's just a bunch of hooey, all that extraterrestrial and all that crystal stuff and hypnosis stuff, ooh, but people are starting to come and want some answers, and they're finally ready to listen. And I just think it's great, and I'm really proud of you. Like I said, again, I'm proud of everything that you've been through the last year, and your job adminning all these groups and just getting out there and spreading the message. You're a very key player in this thing, and which we all are, but I certainly really appreciate everything that you do. And is there anybody else out there that maybe you wanted to thank or give some shout outs to, or is there anything else that was on your mind that you felt that's relevant to let people know about at this time?
When we first started the video, or the interview, whatever, you mentioned crystals.
Yes.
And I've been holding on to 4 of my crystals the whole time to keep me calm and grounded, and also to heal my wrist too, because I have that problem with my wrist.
Are you sure it's not carpal tunnel? No, I'm kidding. That would be something somebody would ask, though. Are you sure it's not carpal tunnel, the problem with your wrist? Yeah, exactly. And crystals are very great for healing. And I can't wait to see the day that you do a video demonstration of what you just showed me in the pre-show. I mean, just a picture of your crystal collection and the way they're laid out and the variety of them, it just really resonated with me when you're like, oh, can you see this? And I'm like, yeah. And you're like, well, let me tell you what each one of these do. I mean, just showing that picture and going through with me and telling me what they were and what they did, and the variety, I think, was what really amazed me, is the variety of these crystals that you had. The amethyst, I don't even know what these things were. This one thing looked like a battery with vanilla syrup on it, and it was petrified wood, it turns out. She was telling me. And so there's all this stuff there that's just gorgeous. And I think too, when you were starting to go through what some of these crystals did and show to me what they did, and the color, for some reason the color of it, and then you tell me what they did, it really would resonate with me. It'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that really resonates with me, and that makes a lot of sense. And I just think personally that even a 5-minute video of you doing that would be the most descriptive. And I've listened to a lot of great people talk about the healing power of crystals. People that I've had on the show, people that I've talked to with Michelle Walling on the Cosmic Awakening show on N5D, but just the visual of that and you describing what each one does without going into a big monologue of a 2-hour show, it was just amazing, right? And I just, and what I realize is that somebody like you doing that, it's amazing. Anybody doing that, but you're coming not on a 3D level, you're coming through pure cosmic consciousness when you're describing what these do. And it's just something that you feel and know. It's not something you had to study for 50 years to get a degree in and that.
I have Christina to thank that on that part. She's teaching me so much about crystals and the different names and what they do. So
Yeah, it's really fascinating. I remember, I don't know, when I was a kid sometime in the 80s, we had a neighbor lady or something that was into crystals, and I thought they were kind of cool. But, back in those days, when you would talk to somebody like that, right? And this is before your time, I'm dating myself again. But when you would talk to somebody back then about something like that, right? Somebody open-minded like me, I thought it was intriguing, but everybody around you go, oh, what a crackpot. That person's a crackpot. That lady's just that weird lady with the crystals next door. And, and then it'd get me thinking, and I'd sit there and listen and think everything was great that she was saying, but at the same time, I'd still have a little bit of that judgment in my mind, like, okay, what a crackpot. But this stuff is really real, and it's documented, and I think maybe we're evolving to the point now as a race where we're able to actually have the consciousness to draw the life and the energies out of these crystals and appreciate them for what they are and appreciate the powers that they have, not just sit around with a rock collection, go, oh, see, this is my cool limestone rock, this is my cool amethyst, this is my brown rock that I found in a mud puddle down the street. This is all that stuff that you had was really cool, and you were able to really articulate and describe what they did, and I could feel the energy in you that it was true, and I didn't even really need to hear that because I saw that picture of all of them set out in that design you had, and it was like, wow, it just really resonated with me. So I wanted to thank you for that, and I want to thank you for coming on again. It's always great to talk to you, of course, and I think before we wrap up, why don't you, if you want to, why don't you let everybody know out there, if they don't already, which everybody on listening to this probably will, why don't you let everybody know out there where they can find you on Facebook, or if you have a website, which I don't know if you do or not. I should know that, but I don't. Talk about what, yeah, let's forget about that. The internet sucks. We only do Facebook on here, people. Why don't you just, mention again where some of the predominant Facebook groups are that they could find you, or, what your full name is actually on Facebook so they can hit you up if they have any questions.
Well, you guys can find me on Pleiadian, Leah Shapiro's group, major group that I love. There's also energetic healing that you can on. You can also find, you'll see on Pleiadian Reiki Healers, the pinned post. My name is Ciara Morris. Facebook's fault. I couldn't change my name to what I wanted it to be. But anyways.
Yeah, it's just a little payback because of all the times you change your. This girl is also would set a Guinness World Record for changing her profile picture. I know people like to change their profile a lot, but this girl is like a Valley Girl shopping when it comes to changing her Facebook picture. She changes it all the time, and they're all really cool, whether they're beautiful shots of the starseed herself that she is, or they're pictures of just designs that she puts up. They're really creative, and they're great. So I'm just kind of giving her a loving bad time there. But yeah, she does kind of slow down a bit, but she does change her profile, I think, at a record pace. So, and also on the Twin Flame group, Pleiadian Twin Flame United, of course, your pinned post is there. And so they can find your beautiful smiling mug, your West Virginia East Coast mug on those two groups. Yes, and she's also one of the admins in my group as well, the Fringe Thinkers, which you'll see, used to be my pinned post there, but Kiki Polak, who is also a fellow admin of ours in the Pleiadians group, and she also runs Pleiadian Scandinavia Netherlands. You'll see her pinned post on Fringe Thinkers. And boy, I think that we've about covered 1% of the whole galaxy, maybe. So you can see Ciara's beautiful face on those two groups. You can find her hanging out on Facebook. Hit her up. Yeah, ask her a bunch of complicated questions. She loves them.
No.
If you need any help with your algebra or geometry or trigonometry homework, your kids do, Ciara would be the person to refer them to. Yeah, so I just wanted to send everybody much love out there as well, you know, and just keep on keeping on. I know the last week the energy's been really cool, and I've liked it, and it's been great. And my dog's wanting out, so we better wrap up the show. Much love to everybody out there. Much love to everybody in all the regional Pleiadian groups, all the admins out there. Too many to name right now, but I wanted to send everybody a special shout out in, well, what's going to soon be the 30,000 member Pleiadians group. That's good. The Pleiadian Light Grid page just went over 5,000. That's exciting news, and just good things are coming. You know, it's a process. It's not going to be like there's just going to be this one big this big come to a head moment. These are several come to a head moments, and they all mean something. All these portals, all these gateways, all these super moons, they do mean something. They're all steps in the process. None of them in and of themselves are some big, the sky's going to part and, you know, whatever. But which would be good if it did. And you know what? Hey, I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong about it. It's just going to happen at once. But it will. It's a process. It's a slow matriculation as we go through this. So I wanted to send everybody much love again. And Ciara, do you have any final closing words before we close this conundrum down?
Yeah. Actually, what I have been thinking, 4 crystals have I been holding the whole time we've been talking? Try and guess. That's what I say. In the comments below.
Try and guess. Okay, so everybody that's listened to this, you know what? That might be the most brilliant comment I've ever heard in an interview for this simple reason, because that would show, right? That would show that they at least listened to the whole interview if they commented. Because I'm not going to mention anything in the title or anything like that, but at least not yet. Maybe in a couple days we will. But if somebody's listened to this whole show, I wish that they would type in and try to guess what 4 crystals she's holding. I have no idea what they are. The only one I'm going to take a guess at, and you can tell me off air if I'm right on just the one, is and don't say it, I'm going to guess one might be an amethyst. So, but you know what? Nobody will listen. Nobody will, anybody that's going to guess anyway would have that hunch. So let's give the good people that listen, Ciara, all the way through one little clue, and that's it. Is one of the 4 by chance the color purple? She's stubborn. No, it's not. And I know, yeah, right, it could be. You're stubborn. You're like, I'm not giving that up. They're going to have to guess all 4 of them. Anyway, thank you, hun, for coming on the show. I really, really appreciate it. And I'd like to send a big cosmic dating game kiss out to everybody out there. Mwah. And we'll see you next time. For Rocken Larry Locken and for all the managers of Pleiadian Express Productions, we'll see you next time out in the cosmos, and we're out. See ya.